Welcome to the No Budget Indie Filmcast, where we dip into the independent film universe to highlight those little films that you might not have heard about elsewhere. Will you agree with our panel, or will our panel agree with each other? Tune in to find out. I am Milo Dennison, and with me, as always, is Claire Milan.
Hello.
And Cathal Feeney.
Hello.
All right, Claire, what did we watch this week?
Places, Thank You, Places. It's written by Gary Richardson, who happens to be a writer for SNL, and he's also the star of this. And it's directed by J.J. Adler. It's about an overconfident understudy who lets the taste of fame goes to his head. So it's a guy who, at the start, we see this guy called Miles. He's working in an awful survival job. If anyone is being in the arts or an actor or filmmaker out there, they know what a survival job is. It's usually a cafe or in a horrible pub or something. And he gets the call that he's understudying a part, and gets the call that he's needed to fill the role. And he's so excited. And then he goes in, and it's a really, really kind of cheesy musical. And he's kind of treated pretty kind of badly by some people. And he's the main guy who was originally in the play has a rack of costumes, but the understudy Miles, they gave him like a cheap costume. And then he's like really excited, and his ego gets bigger, and he's thinking, oh my god, this is it now. So he's telling everyone. And there's one great scene in it where he goes up to the kind of, it's like the stage manager or the woman at the door, and he's saying to the woman, oh yeah, will you put my friends down the list? And then he's like, she's like, no, we can't do that without more notice. And they have a big bit of a confrontation. It's a really, really funny confrontation. So I'm not sure, should I spoil it or not? Okay, spoiler alert.
If you don't, I will.
Spoiler alert, because we kind of have to say, but he thinks he's made it, and his ego is getting bigger, and he's acting like this massive star. And then he goes in, and the original actor playing the role turns up, and then he's not playing the part anymore. And he's kind of a bit devastated, and he actually gets himself on the stage and behind, and in one scene both of them are on the stage, and the director's going berserk. It's just absolutely brilliant. But it's kind of funny because I've been in really crappy jobs, as when I'm doing acting and writing and everything. I also sometimes work in really crappy places. And I also have, look at this is in the film. These little notes, and it's a green one, I think. So I always use a stack of these, and I write a list of things I want to achieve, or these are things I want to do in it. And I tick them off. And this guy does the same. He has one of these exactly, and he just ticks them off. I couldn't believe it. And if you're in a temping job, you're kind of waiting sometimes for either a part or something to happen. And when it does happen, you want to quit immediately. You think this is it. And it happened to me before, where I thought I got something, and I was telling people about it, and I was getting really excited, and I didn't get it in the end. And there was a sense of embarrassment. Yeah. So some of this stuff that happened to me in the film. I just couldn't believe it, because you are so excited, because you can see this guy has put everything. His dream is wanting to be an actor, to on the stage. And when he finally gets it, he thinks, this is it now, I've made it, But it's very, very funny. It's really, really humorous. There's some really, really great side characters in it, like the woman at the door, and even in the restaurant. Like, it's just an awful restaurant. And I mean, there's a really great opening scene where they're in the kitchen, and there's a cook, and he's like, oh, his mother is in town, getting suggestions. And Miles just perks up. He's like, theater, go to these theater events, and he nearly overdoes it. And I've done that as well. Because I love theater. So when people sometimes ask, oh, anything to do this weekend, want a simple answer, I'd often say, well, oh my God, you have to go to see this play, starring this person, is this person, and all that. So I've done the exact same stuff. Like, I'd like to think I don't have the ego that this guy has. But it's so true. And you can tell this guy, I don't know, I don't watch SNL because it's not available in Ireland. I don't think it's available in England either. But Gary Richardson, he's a writer on it on SNL. he's just absolutely terrific. He's a brilliant comedic actor. You just feel so sorry for the guy, and you're rooting for him, but you know it's not going to turn out well. And I just love the way it's done as well. Just the kind of the different characters, and yeah, the atmosphere they're great, and the really horrible cheesy musical, and they show it, and it's an awful musical, like, you know. It's brilliant. I just love this so much, and it's 21 minutes long, so it's quite long for a short, but I didn't notice it. Like, I watched it twice, and then I went back and watched that scene at the door with the stage, the woman at the door, and 3 times, because I just thought it was just comedic genius. But yeah, so what did you guys think of it?
Um, well, it's interesting that you found that it resonated with you.
Yeah.
So you probably got more out of it. It's interesting also that you said that it was Saturday Night Live. So I'm familiar with some of the Saturday Night Live sketches because they're on YouTube or on Twitter or something like that. And I find that they're not as funny as they think they are.
Okay. Yeah.
And in a way, I thought this film was like that. I was like you at the beginning. You know, you felt sorry for the guy, and then you know you were rooting for him, and then he turns 180 degrees and becomes this total asshole. But I didn't find it overly funny. I think they could have actually, you know, gone a more comedic route, but it was sort of hovering between seriousness and comedy. And I almost felt uncomfortable, you know, the way he was being such an asshole. But it was an interesting, I suppose, comment on this idea of fame going to people's heads, and I suppose power going to people's heads. And even his ex-girlfriend, I don't think she particularly covered herself in glory,
No.
because you know
No.
he like she was dumped him and she was no interest in getting back to him. And then when she found out that he was this guy, he got the star role. She said, "Oh, really?" You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she was like pretty vacuous in the end. But yeah, like it was perfectly made. You know, very well acted. And one thing that I did think was very good, talking about the play, was their ability to act badly in the play,
Yes.
you know.
Because it was terrible.
So
Like, it
the big
was,
sort of hammy,
yeah.
yeah,
And they were
to do
bigging it
that.
up, weren't
And
they?
yeah, yeah. I thought that was very well done. So I mean everything about it was very well done, very well acted and everything. But I don't know, I just thought it was just a bit sterile overall for
Okay,
me.
interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a total commentary on that life of
Yeah.
trying to be an actor and trying to make it. And then like the dream of like you get there and you get a bit full of yourself. Yeah, I agree with you, Claire. Like that scene with the lady at the front at the entrance is absolutely hilarious with the way they talk to each other. You know what's funny though is you guys actually seem to like a lot of the acting. I actually didn't much care for a lot of the performances,
Really?
especially the director, Carlos, the writer.
Yeah.
He was, and I actually was like, I felt like the direction for him was to be terrible. Like, I don't
Okay.
think he's that bad of an
Uh,
actor. I think he was told to be like that. Like,
Okay.
you know, the way just when he gets worked up, it's like, it's not believable. Yeah, for me, he didn't work. Um, but yeah, the life of an actor is this play of just waiting for a
Oh,
chance, and
yeah.
there are a lot of nice moments of, especially when he like talks to his agent, and his agent's like, you know, actually I'm, you know, he's like, I want bigger roles, and he's like, well, I'm actually an agent assistant, and you know, or whatever it was he said, and he's
Oh.
you're not that big of an actor, and you're and all this other, and it's like, so, and it was just kind of, and he gets hung up on him, but it was, yeah, it was nicely shot. It was a funny commentary on the whole.
Yeah.
business of being an actor. So yeah,
I think they were hamming it up. I think because these, I think
so
they're
too.
yeah, because you can tell they're good actors.
Yeah,
I think it was the way maybe they were directed. It hold a bit hammy, you know.
think so.
Yeah, because you can get that. But even
And,
I loved.
like,
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that's the problem with it. Like for me,
yeah.
that there was a ham in it. They were trying to ham it up for the humor, but then I didn't think there was the humor there. You know, to
Okay.
back it
Yeah.
up.
I think for me,
Yeah,
because I
like
kind of
the like
resonated.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like the Cameron Christopher that plays the director Carlos, like I think if you would have hammed it up more, it would have
Yeah.
worked, because then it would have been like, okay, he's clearly hamming it up. Here it
Yes.
was slightly hammed up, and you're like, is he just a bad actor, or
Yeah.
is he doing this on purpose? And it wasn't, he didn't make enough of a decision one way or the other as to how he
Yeah.
wanted to be. That was the problem with that.
I think that's more of a directing thing. I
Yeah,
think
it's definitely on the
isn't
director.
it? Yeah, because I know these are good actors. I did love the guy to start, the restaurant manager.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, he just even
I
the
loved
look
his
of him.
mustache. Since I'm growing a mustache, I was like, when he came out, I'm like, ooh, nice
Oh my
mustache.
god!
Yeah.
But and you can tell Gary Richardson, who wrote it as well, who starred in it, he actually, you can tell he either lived, he was this person really, or
Oh,
he's
totally.
seen it. You know what I mean? Because most of us have seen this. You know, hopefully we're not that person, but we've seen it. You know.
Mhm.
But I thought that's why it resonated with me so much, because I could relate to so much of it. Yeah.
I think for the two actors here, that it does like reflect your own experiences a lot more, so you got
Yeah.
more out of it. Actually, that restaurant manager, I thought at the beginning, is that Joaquin Phoenix? I was trying to figure. Oh wow, yeah.
Be cool if they got him to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be one of those ones. Oh yeah, they got a lot of famous people to do it. But obviously, if they worked on Saturday Night Live,
Yeah.
maybe they are well known stateside.
Hmm. It was not Joaquin Phoenix, by the way. Just
No, it wasn't. So it
Do you
did
have
for
to
a
look that
second.
up now? Or, no, I know.
no, I didn't look that up. It definitely was not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it like I didn't get the bit with the oatmeal where they saying that he did make a mistake and not listen to them and write the
Oh,
grits or whatever.
I don't.
Or are they
Yeah.
saying that the customers were assholes and did order grits, but then said that they didn't? Like I didn't really get that bit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't either. Like I got the feeling that he got it wrong, but it wasn't clear. Like he
Yeah.
seemed pretty sure that he did get it right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit out of place, that scene. It looked like it was
Mhm.
going, like that kind of scene looked like the film was going in a very different direction. And
Yeah.
then it just, yeah, I think maybe he just got it wrong because he was so in his head, you know, thinking about theater and everything, probably.
Yeah.
So I got maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, it was hard to tell what they were going with that scene, other than like, hey, we just kind of have this little joke about grits that we think is funny, so let's put it in here, and then have our mustached restaurant manager come out.
I wonder
what are grits, by the way?
Yeah, what are they? Yeah.
It's like a oatmeal thing.
Oh.
I have had them before. They're actually okay. It's a kind of a southern thing in the US. Not yeah, but if I remember correctly, which I could be wrong, it's either like a potato thing or an oatmeal thing.
Okay.
I don't remember for sure.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Grits.
It's interesting they would have all ordered the same thing as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
So clear, yeah, it's definitely certainly on his end, but whatever. I like the joke just didn't work for me.
No, and actually none of them work for me.
Oh, very harsh.
Ooh, harsh.
I know. I mean, a little bit. You know, when he was like egging to get onto the stage, and you see him, you know, coming up the back, and but I think they really could have just made that so much funnier.
Yeah.
Because that was hilarious. Like, I suppose it could have been another level of hilarity, but it was when you could see his face in the background.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do something bad because they were making him look. He was looking all evil and stuff, and I'm like, oh, is he going to like try to kill the guy? What's
I mean that would have been better.
Yeah. But instead, they just do that little dance song, and then it's like, well, that didn't work.
I mean, they could have maybe broken the fourth wall there, like you know, maybe he shoots the director of the theater, and then the director of the film comes in. You know, what do you do? Oh, he shoots him as well.
Yeah,
the film.
Film's over. Yeah, it was a nice character arc is though
Yeah.
I did, that was kind of a nice transition from them.
Well, it was very sudden. Like
Mhm.
he went to this kind of, he felt just very sorry for the guy, and suddenly he became this uber asshole.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But,
All right. Well, I have a feeling we're going to have different ratings
Very
on this one.
different.
Ooh, so
Yeah,
exciting. Cathal, go for
okay,
it.
I'll go first. But I know I slated it, but it wasn't. It's not deserving of less than 3, so I'll give it 3.
Wow, I thought you were going to go with a 2-star with the way you
Yeah,
described
same
it.
here.
Because I think 3 is an okay thing. It's kind of right in the middle. And that's
it had no real flaws, but it just, like I said, it just didn't really. I didn't dig it, but it was okay. I mean, it was 20 minutes. It was passable time. I didn't hate it.
It was worth 20 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 3 stars as well. I did like it a bit more than Call, but I think it's still a 3-star film for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, I find it very funny, very relatable, but there were certain scenes in it, like that one about grits, I didn't quite get. And I do agree with you, they could have even handed up more because they were slightly on the edge, but I still will give it 4 stars because I really, really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, there you have it. No Budget Filmcast audience. We, well, you heard our rating, so take that for what it's worth. You can always check out the film. It is on YouTube. We'll throw a link in the notes. And with that, we'll say stay tuned and see what we're watching next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bum, bum, bum.
Over and out.
Over and out.